Welcome to this track guide for the Fulbeck Circuit in Grantham, Lincolnshire. Opened in 1954, this former airfield kart circuit features various bus stop chicanes and hairpins. We're going to run through the lap a couple of times, first of all pointing out things like this, the rough track surface, which is broken up in various places and needs to be taken into account when choosing your line. We start the lap by moving to the left-hand side, past the control tower and the start line, and you want to be all the way over to the left, right up against the grass, in order to get the easiest line towards the curb at the first bus stop chicane. Now it's essential to use the curb here, but you can actually use more than you're seeing in the video, but this could damage or unsettle the kart if you got it slightly wrong. And in the middle of the corner, you need to be as close to the apex of the bus stop as possible. Now on the left-hand side, as you exit the first bus stop chicane, on the natural racing line, there's a large divot, which you need to avoid, otherwise the kart will jump, bog down and scrape on the floor. As you approach the end of this next straight, you need to set up the hairpin by going slightly deeper than you might think at first in order to achieve a late apex and get the best possible exit speed down the long following straight. This section is now quite simple. You're purely picking the straightest possible line towards your turn-in point for the second bus stop chicane. It's crucial to brake as late as you possibly can whilst maintaining accuracy at the apex of the first part of the bus stop and then also the apex of the middle part of the bus stop, getting as close to the tyre barrier here as you possibly can. You need to be early on the throttle on the exit here because we've got another pretty long straight following this where you can lose a lot of time if you've gone too deep into the middle of the bus stop. So after you've ridden this exit curb, you're simply moving over to the right hand side using as much of the track as you possibly can in order to maximise the width of the track and therefore minimise the angle of the corner, allowing you to carry maximum apex speed through this fast left. You're then moving immediately over to the left hand side of the track to give yourself the best angle into the next hairpin, trying not to go too deep so you can get on the power early and cleanly on the exit, moving over to the right hand side for the dogleg section. Once again here it's very important to maximise the curb use so you've got the shortest and easiest possible line into the right hand part of the dogleg where you've briefly touched the brakes just to take the edge off the speed to allow you to get the most accurate exit where you're early on the power. There's a nasty bump at the apex of this fast right hander, but you've got no choice other than to drive through it because going around it would completely compromise your line onto the final straight. So it's full throttle and smooth steering inputs to take the neatest possible line out of the final turn and across the start line. So now let's watch another lap from the same day but with completely different conditions, much colder and more overcast, which is going to take away some of the peak grip, but let's see if we change any of the driving to compensate. So a straight line into the first bus stop chicane using lots of curb, touching the apex curb, and this time running a little bit of the exit curb too, avoiding the bump on the left hand side, and now thinking about going deep into the hairpin to cut back towards the late apex and get early on the power down this next long straight. Now the straight kinks in the middle, but we're taking the straightest possible line towards the turn-in point for the second bus stop chicane, braking as late as possible, using maximum curb on the left-hand side, kissing the right-hand side, and running the exit curb on the left. All the way to the right-hand side for a smooth line into this 90-degree left, running lots of curb this time around, and then over to the left, braking and getting a late apex for this next hairpin. We can see some traffic coming up. This might affect us at the end of the lap, but for now let's concentrate on the dogleg. Lots of curb, braking, then close to the second curb, early on the power, and a smooth line through the bump. We go over to the right hand side as much as possible, and we now have to undercut this car as we head towards the start line to complete the lap, and that's the end of the session. So with that in mind, let's look at the key points that you need to remember when driving a fast lap of Fulbeck. There are some big curbs that you have no choice but to use for a fast lap. However, there are also bumps that you're going to need to avoid. As with most tracks, it's important to use the full width of the circuit, and there's a real lap time benefit to being brave on the brakes into those bus stop chicanes. And just to highlight that last point, here's some data we gathered from that last session where you can see the difference between braking late and braking slightly early into the first bus stop chicane. And in this example, the driver in question lost 0.3 of a second in that one entry alone. Thank you for watching this track guide to the Fulbeck Circuit. For more high-quality circuit tutorials, check out kartingtrackguides.com, which is the best resource you'll find online for learning kart tracks. And please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.